Here is information from Wikipedia.
So this is from Wikipedia. It says Cyrus the Great, Cyrus II of Persia. Commonly known as Cyrus the Great, and also called Cyrus the Elder by the Greeks, was the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, the first Persian Empire. Up here it says circa 600 to 530 BC. All right. That was the time period when he reigned, circa 600 to 530 BC. All right. This is an image of him. I believe it says let me see, Cyrus the Great with a hem crown, a four-winged cherub, tutelary divinity, from a relief in the residence of Cyrus in Pasagard.
The Lord raised up the spirit of Cyrus the king of the Persians, and he made proclamation through all his kingdom, and also by writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus.
It said that the Lord rose up the spirit in him, okay, to take control, to take power, to do the things that he was going to do. Because the Lord controls all kingdoms, and he puts into place every man that rules those kingdoms, man.
Saying, Thus saith Cyrus king of the Persians, the Lord of Israel, the Most High Lord, hath made me king of the whole world, and commanded me to build him an house at Jerusalem in Jewry. If therefore there be any of you that are of...
So he acknowledged that Yahweh was the power of the Israelites. He acknowledged that, which also means he acknowledged that Israelites are the top nation on the planet Earth, man. You know, and he also knew the reason why we fell as a people, you know, because we violated his... See, the nations were very, very spiritual back then. They understood things and why they happened. They understood why we fell, you know. The heathen, they were happy when we fell, you know, because they got a chance to rule and all that. And the Lord is just, so he allowed the nations to rule, to give them a chance to rule, because he knew in the future, in the latter days, that we were going to rule forever.
If therefore there be any of you that are of his people, let the Lord, even his Lord, be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem that is in Judea, and build the house of the Lord of Israel, for he is the Lord that dwelleth in Jerusalem. Whosoever then dwell in the places about, let them help him, those, I say, that are his neighbors, with gold, and with silver, with gifts, with horses, and with cattle, and other things, which have been set forth by vow, for the temple of the Lord at Jerusalem. Then the chief of the family...
See, now this dude's a Persian, showing you that they are more just than the Edomites. Here it is, we're in the Edomite kingdom, right? At least in these other kingdoms, we knew who we were. They made sure that, well, they allowed us to keep our, you know, our laws and customs. We just had to pay tribute and, you know, and all that. More than likely had to fight in their militaries and stuff like that, but in the army and stuff. But for the most part, we knew who we were, you know, and all that. Esau, here it is, we are in his captivity. They know who we are, but they don't want to release. They want to keep us in that dumb state, you know, dumb us down. That way they can control us better, right? So that's you know, pure wickedness, but that's the will of the Lord, you know.
Then the chief of the families of Judea and of the tribe of Benjamin stood up, the priests also, and the Levites, and all they whose mind the Lord had moved to go up, and to build an house for the Lord at Jerusalem, and they that dwelt round about them, and helped them in all things with silver and gold, with horses and cattle, and with very many free gifts of a great number whose minds were stirred up thereto. King Cyrus also brought forth the holy vessels, which Nebuchadnezzar had carried away from Jerusalem, and had set up in his temple of idols. Now when Cyrus king of the...
Alright, we're going to stop there. So part 5 will begin in 1st Esdras, the 2nd chapter, in the 11th verse. Shalom. Shalom, Yasher Allah. I like to begin by saying I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem, Rakapadash, whom I worship. Double honors to my elder apostle, the great millstone, who taught me this word in sincerity and in truth, and who rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect who are out there on the highways and byways, preaching, doing this work, preaching the true words of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua, waiting upon his coming, that they may receive their crowns of salvation. Salutations be to the great cloud of witnesses of Yasher Allah out there who are watching and believing. May the Lord bless you and yours, and may you receive salvation. So we're picking up where we left off, 1st Ezra, the 2nd chapter, and the 11th verse.
Now when Cyrus king of the Persians had brought them forth, he delivered them to Mithridates his treasurer, and by him they were delivered to Sonobusar the governor of Judea. And this was the number of them, 1,000 golden cups, and 1,000 of silver, censers of silver 29, vials of gold 30, and of silver 2,410, and 1,000 other vessels. So all the vessels of gold, and of silver, which were carried away, were 5,469. So all the vessels of gold, and of silver, which were carried away, were 5,469. These were brought back by Sonobusar, together with them of the captivity, from Babylon.
So Cyrus restored everything that Nebuchadnezzar stole from the temple. In the kingdom, when Yahushua our Lord is ruling, the scriptures say that our gates shall be opened continually of the heathen, bringing back their treasures, bringing back their sons, their daughters, all that, themselves. So the heathen, they're gonna bring into our kingdom all treasures, man. Gold, all riches, gold, silver, people, cattle. So we're gonna be beyond wealthy, man. Beyond wealthy.
These were brought back by Sonobusar, together with them of the captivity, from Babylon to Jerusalem. But in the time of Artaxerxes king of the Persians, Belamus, and Mithridates, and Tabelius, and Rothamus, and Beeltebs, and Semelius the secretary, with others that were in commission with them, dwelling in Samaria and other places, wrote unto him against them that dwelt in Judea and Jerusalem these letters following, to King Artaxerxes our...
Yeah, the heathen, The heathen, man, being filled with envy and anger and disgust that we were coming back into power, because they remember once we were right with Yahweh, with the Most High, that we didn't give a shit about the other kingdoms and the heathen. We didn't care about them, so they know about that. This time around, now the heathen know that. All right, the elites of the nations, they know who we are. And they make sure, man, that we don't come back into our power and our possessions, man, because they know that once we do, that's the end for them. Or whenever we are right with the Most High, that's the end for them, man. And that's exactly what's happening now. There's no new thing under the sun, right?
To King Artaxerxes our Lord, thy servants, Rothamus the story writer, and Semelius the scribe, and the rest of their council, and the judges that are in Shalah, Syria, and Phenis. Be it now known to the Lord King, that the Jews that are up from you to us, being come into Jerusalem, that rebellious and wicked city, do build the marketplaces, and repair the walls of it, and do lay the foundation of the temple. Now if this city and the walls thereof be made up again, they will not only refuse to give tribute, but also rebel against kings. And forasmuch as the things pertaining to the temple are now in hand.
Yeah, because our king is, well, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, right? Then you have, then the Lord has had, he got his own king down here on earth. It's King David. So we don't gotta, we don't have to bow down to no other kings, man. Other kings bow down to us. We are the top nation, and the Most High created us to be that way. And that's what we're gonna be set back up again. When we're out there on the highways and byways in the camps, telling the heathen that, they laugh at us, man. Exactly what the scriptures say, man. Mocking us, laughing, because we have been, just like the scriptures say, we have been a derision before these heathen, So they make fun of us, man. And they look at us like we ain't shit, And they treat us like shit. But not for long, okay?
And forasmuch as the things pertaining to the temple are now in hand, we think it meet not to neglect such a matter, but to speak unto our Lord the King, to the intent that, if it be thy pleasure, it may be sought out in the books of thy fathers. And thou shalt find in the Chronicles what is written concerning these things, and shalt understand that that city was rebellious, troubling both kings and cities, and that the Jews were rebellious.
Yeah, so they had the history, boy, of our kings, and when we ruled and what we did to them. All right, we had them in slavery. All right, and they're gonna go back there, man, in the near future. So I'm gonna stop there. Okay, this is part 5. Stay tuned for part 6. Shalom.